zu zweit zum Glück.
Morning, everybody. Welcome along to the Sachsenring. It is a gorgeous autumnal morning here in Saxony. We're near Chemnitz in Hohenstein-Ernstthal. There we go, I got it out there. At a wonderful circuit, the Sachsenring. We visit this once a year and it is always very enjoyable. A really unusual circuit. But the main thing is the track conditions are good. The air temperature is quite low though, so just 9.7 degrees centigrade. But it is all very much to play for because we are getting ready for qualification for races 1 and 2 of the weekend for the Porsche Carrera Cup Round 7. You can see the championship standings there as Lauren Heinrich, who leads the way, 26 points ahead of defending champion Larry Tenforder. A man very much on a roll at the moment is in third place. Dylan Pereira is just clinched the Porsche Mobile 1 Super Cup Championship. He's got his eyes on the Carrera Cup Germany Championship as well, 28 points adrift. Bastian Boos very much still in the running, 57 points away from the championship lead in fourth place. Ahead of Luke Hartog, 68 points adrift, and Maurice Schuring, who round out the top 6. So we can see Lauren Heinrich there as we look at him as he gets ready. It is a qualifying session of 35 minutes, and it won't just be the fastest time that counts. It will be the driver's second fastest time as well. So fastest time will determine grid position for race 1, which takes place this afternoon. The second fastest time will determine grid position for race 2, which takes place tomorrow afternoon. You can see the cars as they come down the legendary waterfall. We are at the Sachsenring. It is a circuit that is 3.671 kilometers around. That's about 2.28 miles. And unusually, it runs in an anti-clockwise direction. It has 14 turns. 4 of them to the right and 10 of them to the left. It is a track that is unique because it has an awful lot of undulation, a gradient of 12.8% at the steepest point, which is coming into turn 14, the final turn. Has lots of fast corners. Not a lot of overtaking opportunities, so grid position really is very important. So this qualifying session is pretty crucial for a driver. A bad half hour now will really give them all sorts of issues for the rest of the weekend. They need to start in a good position. The car's just back into the pit lane at the moment. We have a little bit of a delay getting this session going, mainly because of the fact that we've just had GT Masters qualifying and we had 2 red flags, and that says an awful lot. It tells you all you need to know really about how things are here at the Sachsenring. It is a tricky circuit, and with the temperatures being so low, getting heat into the tyres and getting the traction is proving to be quite an issue. The 2 red flags, both for drivers into gravel traps, and that's meant that this session is delayed as well. This is the onboard view from Jan-Erik Sloten. Jan-Erik Sloten, who is currently the leader of the Pro-Am Championship, and he is 32 points ahead of Carlos Rivas, the driver who has owned the Pro-Am Championship title for such a long time. But this year, Jan-Erik Sloten has really given him a run for his money, and an awful weekend at Lausitzring a few weeks ago for Carlos Rivas has seen that gap increase between first and second, and Jan-Erik Sloten has suddenly looking as a potential Pro-Am champion, but it can all change. That 32 points lead can be all but wiped out in one race if he were to end up in a gravel trap or have some kind of problem. And so he really needs to keep it all together if he wants to take this championship. Of course, Carlos Rivas, he knows how to win championships, and he has been out testing and practicing. He is all geared up and ready to fight to retain his championship. So it's all quiet at the moment. The cars are lined up in the pit lane. Now, this is going to be quite a critical time. Strategy will be everything. Finally, we get the green light to start this qualifying session. The clock counts down from 35 minutes. To remind you, the drivers need 2 really good times. The fastest of their times grid position for today, second fastest grid position for tomorrow. But this circuit is very challenging on tyres. It causes a lot of tyre degradation. Walking around the circuit on Thursday evening, and there were an awful lot of marbles on the circuit already in the runoff areas, and it just showed how much pressure is put on these tyres around this very abrasive circuit. And of course, lots of fast corners, lots of hills and undulation, and that all puts pressure on those tyres. So the drivers need to look after the tyres. If they take too much out too soon, then they are going to have issues later on. And with the track temperature being fairly low, air temperature is 9.7 degrees centigrade, and it is increasing quite rapidly. So it means that the track is going to get faster and faster as this session goes on. And it means that the best potential opportunity to score a pole position will be in the absolute closing stages of this session. But of course, if a driver ends up in the gravel trap and brings out a red flag in the latter part of the session, that could scupper any chances for drivers who are planning on waiting till late in the session to try and score that pole position. So it really is a gamble to leave it till late in the session to try and put in your fastest, your hardest lap. You can see an awful lot of polystyrene on the track. That isn't an issue. One of the cars has been driven by Florian Spengler in the GT Masters in the qualifying session that's just finished. Went through several billboards and scattered them everywhere. There has been a bit of a sweep-up operation going on, but the polystyrene has spread itself around most of the Sachsenring and isn't really a hazard to the drivers. But that is what that white stuff is that you're seeing floating around the track, and that will no doubt blow out of the way as the session progresses. On board with Lauren Heinrich, our championship leader, and he has ahead of him a nice open track. At the moment, just an outlap, just an opportunity to get heat into the tyres and into the brakes. We're not expecting anything too dramatic at the moment. It is just a case of getting the car up to temperature and getting some heat into those tyres. And it may be that a lot of the drivers are going to be looking to just put in a banker lap, get something on the board to start off with. Yesterday, Lauren's best time was a 1:21.449, so that's a bit of a benchmark. We'd expect him to be into the 1:21s at some points during the session, all being well, and that will be what he's aiming at. At the moment, you can see a 1:32. Well, that is nothing competitive. It is just a case, sight a lap, getting heat into the tyres and gradually building the speed up. So we are at the Sachsenring and we are qualifying for races 13 and 14 of a 16 race season. So this is the penultimate round. After this weekend, it will be just one more round, two more races, and that will be the Hockenheimring in October, towards the end of October. We have a guest driver with us this weekend. We have two, in fact, a regular. It seems funny to call Kim Hauschild a guest because he is a regular fixture here in the number 77 car. Great to have Kim Hauschild here once again. But also we welcome Willem Meyer, a 23-year-old Dutch driver. He raced in Porsche Mobil 1 Super Cup at Spa and came home a very creditable 17th place. He has been featuring very much and indeed winning in the BMW M2 Cup. Last year he won that championship, and we welcome him as a guest driver here for this event this weekend. So keep an eye on William Meyer, and I'm just trying to see what number he is. I'm looking for him on the timing screens. There, up number 43. So, yeah, keep an eye on him. Now you can see he's listed in 12th in the standings on your graphic. Of course, that will all change as the drivers wind up the pace and get some heat into the tyres. And we've got somebody who's into the barrier already. We said that might happen, and it is William Meyer, the aforementioned driver that I was just talking about. And it looks like he's into the barrier, and it doesn't look like he's going anywhere. Well, he is just moving. The ID Racing Porsche, come on, keep it going. If he can keep it going, we will avoid a red flag, but that is a fairly disastrous start for him. Just before that, we had seen Lauren Heinrich put in a hot lap of a 121.229, and you can see Meyer just overcooking it and straight on into the barrier. Quite heavy contact with the fence, and somehow he's kept it going. So 10 out of 10 for that for William Meyer. So a baptism of fire for him here at the Sachsenring, as the number 43 ID Racing Porsche gets back going. So I'm pleased to say it doesn't look like we're going to need a red flag. I really thought we would. But while all that's been going on, we've got some hot laps. It's Lauren Heinrich, who's at the top of the standings at 121.229. That's very quick. Lorcan Hannafin, his first race event here at the Sachsenring. He's bumped up into second place. He was really quick in testing yesterday. And of course, Lorcan Hannafin, who is leading the Rookie Championship. He's 15 points ahead of Hoop van Eindhoven. And if he can stay second place in the standings, he will be in a very good position to take the Rookie Championship even further ahead. Defending champion Larry Tenforder has popped up in third place at 121.703. Maurice Schuring in fourth at 121.746. And Luke Hartog in fifth at 121.828. Those are the only drivers in the 21s. Bastian Boos at 122.034. Would expect to see him improve on that. Bastian Boos, another driver who's very much on the crest of a wave at the moment. He's just become the rookie champion in Porsche Mobil 1 Super Cup, having taken his second win at Monza. And he really is a driver who's on a mission at the moment. Absolutely supremely confident, and certainly will be challenging somewhere near the front this weekend. We're looking at Dylan Pereira at the moment. Dylan Pereira currently in 8th place, and not really setting the world on fire with his lap times at the moment. The new Porsche Mobil 1 Super Cup champion, Dylan Pereira, still looking to improve. So, just to remind you, the track is divided into 3 sectors, and you can see the sectors are represented by boxes at the bottom of your timing screen. If the box goes green, it means the driver has done a personal best. If the box goes red, it means it is nothing especially spectacular. And if the box goes purple, it means that the driver is the quickest of anybody. And of course, any driver that sets a purple sector, we will certainly be keeping an eye on as they look to move their way up the grid. I'm quite impressed with how quickly the drivers have got up to speed. We are just less than 10 minutes into the session, and we have 5 drivers into the 121s at the moment. There is Maurice Schuring in the number 14 car, currently in 4th place, and he has not put up anything too special in Sector 1, a 42.654. It's not disgraceful, but it's nothing that is quickest at the moment, but he's continuing to push on. And it is Maurice Schuring that we are focusing on in the number 14 SSR Huber Racing Porsche. Also, not a personal best in Sector 2. So, improving on that P4, not looking too likely at the moment as he comes up that steep hill out of the final corner. He knows it's not a great lap. He peels off into the pits. He's got that banker lap in, and he comes into the pit lane. So many of the drivers having put in a banker lap, just getting a time on the board and then returning back to the pits. We've still got plenty of cars out on the circuit at the moment. And it's Lauren Heinrich who leads the way with a 121.229 ahead of Lorcan Hannafin and Larry Tenforder, Maurice Schuring, Luke Hartog and Bastian Boos. And Alex Tauscher in P7 ahead of Dylan Pereira, a long way down for him in P8 at the moment. The same for Rudy Van Buren in 9th, and he is ahead of Lucas Erthel. Our fastest rookie is Lorcan Hannafin, and he is looking to extend his position at the top of that rookie championship. Our fastest Pro-Am driver at the moment is Ahmad Al-Shihab. He's 14th overall, but quickest in category of 122.842. Carlos Rivas is second Jan-Erik Slooten, he's a long way down. He is 4th in category for the Pro-Am drivers, 23rd out overall, as we see him just trying to improve. He's done a personal best in Sector 1. That is a great angle as you see him fighting the wheel up the hill. You can see the blind crest, one of many blind crests. And now here we come down the waterfall, and this is a steep, steep drop as the cars head down towards turn 13. And then under braking, how much speed? How brave can they be as they go around turn 13? That's Sector 2 for Jan-Erik Slooten. Wasn't an improvement for him. Then up the steepest hill of all on the circuit. Another blind crest out of 14. And he peels off into the pit lane. Didn't even want to complete that lap. So Jan-Erik Slooten stays down in 23rd. And 4th in category. Only a few cars out on track at the moment. One of them is the number 69 car of Holger Harmsen. That's a name we are really pleased to welcome back to Porsche Carrera Cup Germany. He had that accident at Spa-Francorchamps at the beginning of the season. He got airborne, landed with a massive bump, and did a lot of damage to his back. Currently has a serious amount of metal work that has been put in to support his back. Has had a lot of surgery and a lot of rehabilitation over the last 6 months, but as is the case with any true racing driver, his only goal has been to get back out on the track as soon as possible, and it is great to welcome Holger Harmsen back. And he is currently out in the number 69 car, and hopefully, all being well, we'll see him also at Hockenheim for the season closer at the end of October. Laurin Heinrich back out again as he looks to improve. There's a number of cars that are being investigated for achieving a fastest lap under yellow flags. Now, that's just been flashed up on the timing screen. It doesn't say who those cars are, but cars achieving the fastest lap time under yellow flag, well, that's a big no-no, isn't it? And the race steward taking a look at that will let you know if there's any update on that. No update on the top three at the moment. It was the early stages of the session that Laurin Heinrich set a 121.229 and Lorcan Hannafin into second with a 121.585. Larry 10 forward at the 121.703, rounding out the top three. We're going to keep an eye to see if anybody's improving. So Heinrich back out again, getting heat into the tyres. And I would suggest the track is going to get quite busy as this session winds up. We've still got just under 22 minutes remaining, so still plenty of time as Laurin Heinrich comes up that steep climb into turn 14 and through the polystyrene that is scattered around the track, and still trying to generate heat. Now, the air temperature is rising quite quickly. There was a real nip in the air when we arrived at the circuit this morning. But since this session has started, the temperature has climbed by a couple of degrees. So we're up to 11.3 degrees centigrade now, the air temperature. So that in turn will be causing the tarmac to get warmer. So the track will be continuing to evolve and get quicker. There'll be more rubber laid down. The track will be getting warmer. So potentially we might see the cars into potentially the 120s before this session is over. But it's Laurin Heinrich who seems to have a handle on this. Dylan Pereira in P8, a driver who has had an up-and-down season in Carrera Cup Germany. As already mentioned, he has just clinched the championship in Porsche Mobil 1 Super Cup, but would dearly love to do the double with Carrera Cup Germany as well. But at the moment, the P8 that he currently lurks in as not the best position from which to do that. And the championship lead that Laurin Heinrich has, well, 26 points. It's a fairly healthy lead, but it could so easily be stripped away in a moment just with one mistake. So the drivers behind very much keeping him in their sights. And Laurin Heinrich again across the line. You can see from the timing screens 130s and 135s from Dylan Pereira, very much an outlap, very much a lap to get heat into the tyres. Now Lauren Heinrich has got his toe on it, as indeed as Dylan Pereira. Would expect to see the 94 car rising up the timing screens before too long. Pereira will not be happy with that position. Carlos Rivas is still second in the Pro-Am category. Ahmad Al-Shihab get there in the end. Currently is the fastest of the Pro-Am drivers. So, 19.5 minutes remaining, and Heinrich goes purple in Sector 1, a 41.869. That is great in Sector 1. So Heinrich has lit the touch paper and is now giving it full beans. The number 3 car being run by SSR Huber. Of course, we saw Christoph Huber last time out at the Sachsenring take his 100th start in Carrera Cup Germany. And his drivers know nothing but winning. And this man here, the Porsche Junior for this year. And he's coached by Sascha Massen. He crosses the line. It's purple, 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 a 120.951. So Lauren Heinrich, the first into the 120s. Now, what can be done in response? And Luke Hartog has done a purple in Sector 1, the quickest of anybody. Here comes Larry Tenforder. He has improved, but still not enough. So keep an eye on Luke Hartog, because a purple in Sector 1, a personal best in Sector 2. So the number 4 car, here he comes across the line. And it's Luke Hartog who goes second. So Hartog moving up the grid. He's a driver who's been doing an awful lot of work trying to find some pace. They found something in the Black Falcon Porsche and have applied it to the car. I don't know what it is that they found, but we're feeling a little bit confident. Talking to Luke earlier on, and he said, we've got some pace. We found something we can challenge. And the proof there is the number 4 car moving towards the top of the time sheets. Second overall at the moment, but Dylan Pereira is on a charge. A personal best in Sector 1 and 18.061 in Sector 2. So not particularly good in Sector 2, about half a second off what he would hope to be. So Dylan Pereira out across the line, and he goes 4th. So it is an improvement for Dylan Pereira, but P4 for the 94 car. So Dylan Pereira instantly relegated down to P5 as Maurice Scheuring, the next driver in the number 14 car, to make a big improvement. So Maurice Scheuring at 121.262. That's 0.3 of Lauren Heinrich, but Maurice Scheuring, another of the young chargers that have brought this series alive during 2022. And Maurice Scheuring up towards the front of the grid. Lorcan Hannafin down to P4. Mentioned earlier, Lorcan Hannafin has never raced here before, and yesterday in free practice was second in the timing sheets, and he has really taken to this track really well. 4th place at the moment. Well, that's a result, but he'd like to improve on that. He is the fastest rookie. The second fastest rookie is his teammate Alex Fack, and he is down in 8th place at the moment, ahead of Bastian Boos. Now, Bastian Boos having a fairly quiet session by his standards. He's down in 9th place, and he is ahead of Alex Tauscher, who rounds out the top 10. I was just looking to see where Huub van Eindhoven is, because he is the driver that has been challenging in the Rookie Championship. He just pops up in 9th place. So Huub van Eindhoven moving up, and he is currently 3rd in the rookie standings in this qualifying session at the moment. It's still Lauren Heinrich who leads the way. And this is the view on board into the pits. No, he's not checking his WhatsApp messages. That is data from his crew. Getting information, looking to see what he can do to improve, looking to see what the other drivers are doing. Great perspective there as the crew work on the car. So Heinrich, no doubt, will be looking to improve a little bit more. He's not going to settle for that. We look at Carlos Rivas. Haven't seen anything of him so far. He's looking to put Sachsenring behind him, and he's going about it in the best way possible by circulating in 14th place in the timing screens at the moment, and now the fastest of the Pro-Am drivers. So Carlos Rivas, another of the Black Falcon cars, now the fastest of the Pro-Am drivers. Now, we saw Luke Hartog had that really quick time that put him up into second place. He's had a cancellation of the time. So car 4, cancellation of lap time for achieving a fastest sector time. And it doesn't say anything else because the timing screen isn't big enough, but it might have been under a yellow flag, and that looks like Ariel Levy to me. Yes, it is, doing a bit of rally cross, the car bouncing around. He keeps it going, he doesn't get bedded into the kitty litter, and that is up towards turn 10 and up onto 11. He rejoins. So that hard work from Luke Hartog sees the cancellation of the time, and he is suddenly relegated down into 6th place. Another driver that's had a cancellation is the 98 car, and that is Jan Seifert. So he has also had a cancellation of a lap time. I think it was achieving fastest sector time under potentially yellow flag. Unfortunately, the message on our timing screen is not entirely clear, but that's 2 drivers that have had laps cancelled and are relegated back down the order. So Hartog has got all that work to do again. He's proven he can do it. So as long as there's enough rubber left on the tyres, he could potentially do it again. So he's back down into 6th place. Is Lauren Heinrich, the only driver into the 120s at 120.951, who leads the way. Morris Schuring is 2nd, Lorcan Hannafin in 3rd. So he continues to nibble away. Dylan Pereira in 4th. Larry Tenforder down in 5th place. He won't be too chuffed about that. Rudy Van Buren has popped up into 7th place ahead of Alex Fack and Huub van Eindhoven, and Bastian Boos, another driver, is a long way down in P10. So a little over 13 minutes of this session remaining, and you get the feeling there's still a lot more to come as we look at Dan van Kuik, and he circulates in the number 27 car, currently in 18th place. Our focus very much on our championship leader at the moment, Lauren Heinrich for SSR Huber Racing. There's confirmation of his fastest lap at 120.951. Car 75, Ariel Levy is under investigation for speeding in the pits, as if his rallycross moment wasn't enough. He's now also under investigation for that. So the stewards with plenty to do. There are just 6 cars out on the circuit at the moment as we look at the pits, and I'd expect the circuit to suddenly get very busy in the closing minutes of this session. It's the qualifying for races 13 and 14 of a 16-race season, and you can see all of the wins on the roof of the Lauren Heinrich car, and there's Lauren's father, a great encourager and a real character in the Porsche Carrera Cup paddock, and he has been incredibly proud of what his son has achieved. Lauren Heinrich, who has had, just counting up, 4 wins this season, looking for a 5th and even a 6th here at the Sachsenring. In terms of rookie wins, Lorcan Hannafin has had 4, Huub van Eindhoven has had 5, but Hannafin leads the rookie standings on account of the fact that he has had a more consistent point score across the season so far. But Huub van Eindhoven has been coming back at him and has been closing that gap up. But Hannafin really mastering the Sachsenring and looking good. We're looking at Jan-Erik Sluten. Well, the ADAC board had been fairly mutilated. He decided to finish it off in its entirety, didn't they? The DAC had gone during the GT Masters qualifying. He took out the A in the closing stages of Carrera Cup qualifying just for good measure. So no sponsorship on that corner now. And yet more polystyrene is scattered onto the circuit. That's Larry Tenforder. And he is looking for clues. There's nothing that is in English that I can understand. So 5th place for Larry Tenforder. That is not a position that he has become accustomed to. He's very much found a lot more form as the season has progressed. Of course, he had that drive-through penalty in race 1 at Lausitzring last time out, which put a big dent in his championship hopes, but he is still just 26 points off Lauren Heinrich, and is going to push all the way to the end of the season with this one. And this is the view from Shootout A. There we go. That disappeared. There is the view of it, just floating back down to earth from the rear view camera in the Iron Force Racing by Phoenix Porsche. So our focus in the pits at the moment very much on the SSR Huber Racing Garage. They are the mega quick cars here, as indeed is that car there being driven by Larry Tenford of the Team GP Elite cars. And they very much the focus in the championship. And we wait for them to rejoin us out on the track. Less than 10 minutes remaining. And this is far from all over. 120.951. That is the benchmark. That is what the drivers need to beat. And in a few moments, this track is gonna come alive because these drivers are all gonna be coming out at the same time. The question is, can they find the space out on the track? Bit of vigorous fly swatting on the bonnet of the Iron Force Racing by Phoenix car. Nice action replay there of that. Dylan Pereira waiting and waiting, and some great camera angles here brought to us by the crew here in Porsche Carrera Cup Germany. Some great perspectives of the drivers and of their views. Now here we go. There looks like Harold Prochik in the background being pushed out, ready to rejoin. Heinrich is out into the pit lane. Larry Tenforder fires up the engine. The car is pushed out into the pit lane as well. It is suddenly now going to get very busy. This is the pole position shootout. Lauren Heinrich, Morris Schöring are the 1-2 at the moment. Lorcan Hannafin in third. Dylan Pereira, Larry Tenforder, Luke Hartog, Rudy Van Buren. That's the top 7. Alex Fack, Hu van Eindhoven. Have we seen the best of Bastian Boos? I am sure he is not settling for 10th place at the moment. Still plenty to play for as the cars come out. The track has evolved. Now there's rubber down, there's heat in the tyres, air temperature is up to 12.2 degrees centigrade. You just saw somebody locking up into turn 1, a little puff of blue smoke. So it is a bit of a traffic jam out there. There is the element of picking up a slipstream. There is the element of tripping over somebody and then getting in your way. So positioning will be critical. Lauren Heinrich does not enjoy the open track that he had early on, but he has plenty of space. In fact, he's just backing out of it to find a little bit more space, letting a car past. And now down the part of the track that is nicknamed the Waterfall. It is out of turn 11 down towards turn 12. It is a steep drop. You have no idea how steep that is until you have tried to walk up it, I tell you that. Lauren Heinrich now getting ready, getting the heat into his tyres, ready for a couple of push laps to see if he can improve. To remind you, he needs to not just have one good lap, he needs 2 because he's qualifying for tomorrow's race as well. Across the line he comes. Lauren Heinrich still weaving to get heat into the tyres. There is a traffic jam ahead of him. Morris Schöring is there as well, as is Rudy Van Buren, Ariel Levy, Dylan Pereira, look like Yuka Honkavori at the back of that pack as well. There's not a lot of space to be had. So Pereira currently P4, looking to improve. Takes a couple of laps to get the heat into the tyres, get everything up to temperature, and then it'll be push, push, push all the way to the checkered flag. 6 minutes, just over 6 minutes remaining of this qualifying session for round 7 of Porsche Carrera Cup Germany 2022. And we are following championship leader Lauren Heinrich as he looks to put the car on pole position for both races 1 and 2. He's at the top of the timing sheets at the moment. He wishes to remain there. Morris Schöring is second, and he is just behind Lauren Heinrich. And there is Rudy Van Buren in that pack of cars as well. And still generating the heat in the tyres. And this, the last of the laps to get the heat in. And as they cross the line next time around, we'd expect to see Lauren Heinrich now hitting the accelerator and giving it absolutely everything. Here he comes out of the last turn to start the clock. Here we go. It's Heinrich, Scheuring, Van Buren on your screens. Dylan Pereira in the background. Ariel Levy as well. But Heinrich very much the focus at the moment. What can he do in Sector 1? It's currently 41.869 is the quickest car in Sector 1, and that was set by Heinrich. So what can he do to improve on that? 41.869 is what he is looking to improve on in that first sector. And we will see what he can do. Its moment is looking inch perfect. So he comes out towards the end of this first sector. Will it be an improvement? No, it isn't. A red means that it's not an improvement, so it's not the push lap that we thought it would be. Scheuring is backed out of it as well. So maybe another lap required to get the heat into the tyres, or maybe something else. But he's set a purple, a best of anybody in Sector 2. So clearly some kind of error in that first sector, but 17.862, very good for Sector 2. So coming up the hill to cross the line again and carry on into the next lap, Laurin Heinrich at 120.955, so he doesn't improve on his best time. Now on board with Dylan Pereira, personal best in Sector 2, and Pereira remains in 4th place. Rudy Van Buren has jumped up to 6th at the expense of Luke Hartog. Here comes Larry Tenforder, and somebody has been out wide onto the gravel. You can see the dust, and Tenforder jumping up into 3rd place. So Tenforder improves. Still only one car into the 20s, and that is Laurin Heinrich at 120.951. Car 14, Maurice Scheuring, has been referred to the stewards for blocking, according to the timing screens, and well, it says next to it GT Masters, so I'm not entirely sure whether that refers to Maurice Scheuring or not, so we'll have to see about that. In the meantime, Laurin Heinrich is purple in Sector 1. So now Heinrich, the quickest of anybody in Sector 1. Sector 2, he's not improved at 19.617, so that's some 2 seconds down on his best. So stringing it together for a good lap all the way around, proving to be the challenge. Here comes Carlos Rivas across the line. Here comes Laurin Heinrich. And a 123, so that's not an improvement. 123.713, so a big issue there in Sector 2 for Laurin Heinrich. On board with Larry Tenforder, he's down to P4 because Luke Hartog has improved once again. Hartog back up into 2nd place now. Hopefully for him, he can keep that. The stewards haven't flagged anything up, so car 4 once again back up into that P2. It's Hartog in 2nd, Scheuring down to 3rd, Larry Tenforder down to 4th. Here comes Lorcan Hannafin. He's down into 5th place. And he hasn't improved on that at the moment. So Lorcan Hannafin, having enjoyed being 2nd for many of the test sessions during the lead up to this qualifying session, currently down in 5th place. Now Luke Hartog continuing to press on. He needs a 2nd hot lap for the 2nd race, just making his way past the back marking car. He goes very wide out of the corner, now up the hill. So Luke Hartog continuing to press on in the Black Falcon number 4 car. He stops the clock at a 121.624. So nothing too spectacular as his 2nd lap. Here's Larry Tenforder. And Larry Tenforder currently in 4th place, looking to improve on that. 42.231 and 18.1, so pretty reasonable, but not spectacular in the first 2 sectors, and it doesn't look to me like Larry Tenforder is going to improve on his 4th place here. As he crosses the line, he remains in 4th at 121.945. So whether it's traffic or whether he's just taken too much out of the tyres, you can see the clock at the top of the screen. 30 seconds remaining. Any drivers that have started their lap once the clock strikes 0 will be able to continue to the end of that lap, and it will continue. So we really are in the closing stages here. It's Laurin Heinrich who continues with 15 seconds remaining. He is not going to get round before the clock strikes 0, so this is going to be the last roll of the dice for Lauren Heinrich. When he crosses the line next, it will be the end of his qualifying session on board with Dylan Pereira. And he is not improving either. In fact, he's had a very poor Sector 1, and it looks like he is bailed on that lap. So Dylan Pereira down in 6th place, and that is nothing that he will be particularly excited about. Hartog crosses the line for the final time and remains in the 2nd place. You see him going wide there, picking up some rubber as he comes back into the pit lane. So car number 4. And in fact, it looks like looking to see where he is out on. Oh, there he is. Yes, just coming back into the pit lane. I thought he was having an excursion for 1 minute. So yes, the 2 Black Falcon cars are together there, and in fact, 3 Black Falcon cars out on the track. The yellow flag's just flying there as the cars are pulled into the pit. So it is Lauren Heinrich who scores the pole position. Nobody has improved. Luke Hartog 2nd, Maurice Schuring in 3rd place ahead of Larry Tenforder, Lorcan Hannafin in 5th place, and Dylan Pereira in 6th. Ahead of Rudy Van Buren. Bastian Boost down in 8th place. A very quiet qualifying session for him. Really not where he wanted to be. Ahead of Alexander Fack and Huub van Eindhoven, who round out the top 10. But it is Lauren Heinrich who earns a pole position. He's very much dominated this session. He just needs to do the same in the 2 races that will follow this weekend, and he will extend that championship lead even further. Our fastest rookie is Lorcan Hannafin in P5. Our fastest Pro-Am driver, welcome to the top of the category. Welcome back, Carlos Rivas, 16th overall, but the fastest Pro-Am driver. And just looking to see where Jan-Erik Sluten is, and he is 4th in category. So Jan-Erik Sluten down in 23rd, 4th in the Pro-Am standings. Here is confirmation. It's Lauren Heinrich from Luke Hartog. Good qualifying from him. He's in a SSR Huber sandwich there because Maurice Schuring is 3rd ahead of Larry Tenford, the defending champion. Lorcan Hannafin for Fack Autotech ahead of Dylan Pereira. Rudy Van Buren and of the Huber cars ahead of Bastian Boost for Allied Racing. Alex Fack, Huub van Eindhoven, Alex Tauscher, 3 of the rookies together. Ahead of Yuka Honkvori, Lucas Ertel, Harold Prochik. Good qualifying from him in P14. Ariel Levy, despite his excursion, in 15th. And then the fastest of the Pro-Am drivers, Carlos Rivas, another for Black Falcon in 16th place. 17th, Stan Van Kuyk, and 18th, Richard Wagner, ahead of Zoran Spreng, another of the Black Falcon cars. Lucas Groneveld and Ahmad Al-Shihab, 21st. Jan Seifert, Jan-Erik Sluten. He's got a lot of work to do from there. The visiting cam, Andre Hausschild in 24th. And we just wait for the remaining cars to come through, and then it was Jesse Van Kuyk. Georgi Donchev in 26th, Sebastian Freeman, Jonas Greif, Christoph Langer, Holger Harmsen, we welcome him back, and Willem Meyer, well, not the kind of session he was hoping for ID Racing. He had that excursion into the barriers. We didn't see him back out on the track, and he will start last in both races, races 1 and 2 of the weekend, races 13 and 14 of a 16 race season. That was qualifying for round 7 of Porsche Carrera Cup Germany. It was Maurice Schuring who finished in 3rd place overall. The number 14 car for SSR Huber Racing. And 2nd to Luke Hartog for Black Falcon, the Dutch driver. Great qualifying from him. But who can stop the Porsche Junior? Lauren Heinrich, another pole position for car number 3 for SSR Huber Racing. Lauren Heinrich is the pole sitter. So a great qualifying session for Porsche Carrera Cup Germany. Races 13 and 14. Race 13 will take place this afternoon. Race 14 will be tomorrow afternoon. It is the penultimate round of Porsche Carrera Cup Germany 2020. After this, we head to Hockenheim at the end of October, where the championship will be decided. But it is all very much to play for, because the championship leader, Lauren Heydrich, starts from pole position this afternoon. Join us then.